Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Greenfork Food for Thought podcast. Today's guest is Kenny Rhodes. He is an athlete. He's a powerlifter. He's a coach. He's a personal trainer. He is a fellow of mine over at Battleground Fitness, and many, many more things. And we'll get into all that. But he's just a really cool guy. He's been a friend of mine for a long time, and I'm happy to have him on. And we'll take these stupid masks off now, but I thought it'd be a funny way to start the podcast.
Yeah, welcome. Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Of course, brother. Of course. Yeah. So, Kenny, we've been friends for a long time now,
Yep.
and both in the fitness industry. And I think we met before we even knew that we worked out. We just met through like Sarah and Shane. And,
Farmers Market.
Farmers Market. Yeah. You used to own Toganola.
Yep.
You sold that. We could talk about that.
For sure.
But yeah, now you're a trainer over at Battleground.
Yep.
Alongside myself and Reba.
Yep.
And that's great. So what got you into like fitness and all that?
Great question. So my fitness journey has been kind of up and down. I grew up as a different kind of athlete. I played competitive golf since I was young.
He's good at golf.
Thank you. I started out at probably 5 on the course, learning and practicing, and then in and out of golf camps and traveling and competing at junior level. And then
That's cool.
Yeah, I didn't really work out then. I was just kind of golfing.
I wish I had started playing golf.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun. It's when you want to start young, because you can learn the mechanics and you're more kind of fluid and mobile at that point in your life. And according to my father, I started with a plastic club at like 2. And he said, your swing was fluid the minute I gave you a club. Like I didn't teach you anything, you just had it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. He tells me those stories. I saw some old video of myself swinging at like 4 years old or something. And I was like, that's a pretty good swing. But I played kind of competitive golf in the junior scene all the way till high school. And then I started playing competitive golf in high school on the team. And then I got into downhill ski racing. So I grew up skiing very little
different.
as well. Very different. Yeah, couldn't be further apart. I wasn't very good. I was kind of average. I finished in the middle of the pack. So I started training for skiing, doing plyometrics and rollerblading and, ladder agility drills, stuff like that to kind of get ready for skiing. And we had a pretty simple like training season for skiing in school, but that was kind of where I got into it. And then as I got into college, that's where I started lifting weights more, but still not like where I am now. I'd go to the gym a couple times a week and then miss it for a month and then go back to the gym. And I got into some of the fads like P90X and stuff like that and fell off the bandwagon and got back on. And I had a really strong roommate in college in my sophomore year. He was kind of like a genetic freak, just like very, very fit, very strong, benching 300 pounds at 18 years old, like a very strong guy.
Yeah.
And he kind of got me like into it and motivated. And then I played competitive golf in college and there, we had some, again, basic trainings. Golf isn't extremely physically demanding, but...
Well, that's what I like about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like more mental challenge and, being able to move my body for golf and get better mobility and rotational speed and stuff like that is what we worked on and injury prevention. So, going through college up to like 21 years old, I was pretty sporadic with working out. And then from there, the next 5 years, my wife and I started, progressing our relationship. We got married. And right as we got married, I was 28. And I read this article in Men's Health magazine about when male peak performance kind of is like 28 to 36, kind of, according to this article I was reading. Yeah. And I was like, I'm already 28 and I'm out of shape. I came out of college. I put on... I'm ashamed, kind of a shameful amount of weight, but I put on like 80 pounds in college. Yeah. And drinking beer, partying, having fun, eating a lot, eating late at night, not really caring about what I ate. So, put on a lot of weight, came out of school, got married. And then I was like, I think I should probably move my body, Yeah. And my wife was like, let's go take these group fitness classes. Yeah. So I was hesitant. I was resistant. I did a lot of I want to get in shape before I go to the group classes.
Yeah, it's so funny how people think that.
Yeah, and I have clients now that say that to this day. So I've had that mindset. I've been there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of started going to work out, and that's where I met Tanya and Nate, and went to Peak Performance and started training there.
Yep.
And that's how I got my foot in the door. And then from there, been super consistent for the last 8 years since then.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of my journey
It's
into
like a
fitness.
whole new lifestyle.
It is, yeah. I started with just 2 days a week of just like conditioning classes, and I just remember like practically dying most of the time, and just being like on the ground, like, you know, max heart rate, and just like, oh my God, this is so hard, and I just kind of stuck with it. So that's kind of my intro into the journey, and then. In terms of coaching, you know, I got this opportunity about a year into working out there where they were like, we're going away. You have the energy, you have like the spunk we need. Like, can you cover this class for us?
Sure.
So I got my foot in the door there. I got my cert and I coached my first class and was like, I want to do this. Like,
I
love
fun,
this.
right?
Yeah, I love this. This is really fun. I'm very, very outgoing, very extroverted. So it just kind of made sense.
Yeah, cool. I think I came into it in a similar way. I think a lot of coaches and trainers and people that want to help people in any kind of capacity, you know, they either do it because they themselves had a transformative experience,
right,
and they want to share that with other people, or you know, they just love doing it and just like are just naturally extroverted type of people. And I don't know, I'm maybe some kind of combination of the two.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I am too. Like, I'm primarily extroverted, you know, but I have my introverted moments where, like, on the weekends, I'm like, I don't really want to go out right now. I just want to stay in.
Well,
I didn't have that in my 20s, you know, but as I've gotten a little bit older now, I'm 36, you know, I'm kind of like, I'm good for the week. I'm going out.
Well, totally. And it's interesting because, you know, I give so much of my energy when I'm at class.
Oh, I'm so
like
glad
I get home and I'm just like, whew,
I'm so glad you hit on this because
shut it down.
It's a big part of the industry, right? Like, we act as therapists, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, especially with, and I have about a dozen private clients, and you know, it's all just, sometimes I'm absorbing some of their trauma and some of their issues and some of their day-to-day struggles, you know? So there are times after an 8-hour day of coaching where I'm just cooked, you know, like I'm tired and I'm done for. So I'm so glad you brought that up. It's definitely something in the industry that can lead to burnout. You know, it can be really, it can happen quickly and pile up on you. Yeah. So you know, making sure that you take care of yourself, self-care, take breaks, you know, and then on top of that, plus our own training that we do on the outside. Yeah. All that stress is all stress and stacked on top of each other. Yeah.
I think I got into training because I wanted to work out.
Right.
For free.
Right. There you go.
You know what I mean? Basically, it was like, okay, I really
There's that perk,
I really like working out. I want to be in this atmosphere. I want to be around people that are also doing this. And I have a lot to say and do, and I'm good vocally.
Yeah, you're good at it. Yeah.
So like, why not? It just makes sense. And then I never really turned back.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love hearing everyone's kind of niche and how they got into it. And I'm gonna shout out some people too. Like, I want to shout out Brian Bedell, who owned Peak Performance when I was there. He kind of like pulled me aside after that first class. He was there kind of watching me in the background, and he pulled me aside and was like, you can make it in this career path. You have the mindset, you have the personality to do that. And I never forgot that. And I actually ran into Brian like a couple weeks ago, and he was like, oh, I see you're over at Battleground, and I know I'm sure you're killing it. And that was really cool to kind of have that full circle moment many years later to see Brian again. And now I am full-time in fitness, and it's pretty exciting. Yeah, it's really cool.
There's so many aspects of fitness, right? Like, indeed. I got into it through yoga. Okay. And that's how I got into it. Sure. And that's always been kind of my philosophy, is like, yoga is more total body movement, mobility. I love kettlebells, all that stuff. But you are doing powerlifting, right? Which is like maybe the opposite of yoga. You know,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah, and I actually am an avid yogi, I guess you could say as well. Yeah, so I do a lot of yoga in addition to powerlifting.
Well, that's good. You're well balanced.
Yeah, they complement each other well.
You have to.
Yeah, and there are cycles where I don't do as much yoga, but time and place. You know, like certain aspects of yoga aren't great for powerlifting, like they don't mesh together well.
Right.
But other aspects are great. Balance.
Yeah, if you are headed towards a singular goal, right? You don't want to do anything that's going to offset that or whatever. So mobility is not necessarily important for the sport of powerlifting.
Right.
It's not going to.
It depends.
It will benefit you overall, but like it's not going to.
It's really specified. Like your mobility for squat is the one that takes the most mobility, right? So like squat mobility is very, very important. And there are aspects of yoga that enhance that, but most of the time I try to look at it like I'm not going to go to a yin class where I'm going to hold this posture and the instructors are going to kind of push you deeper and deeper and deeper into a pose, as where I don't necessarily want to lose that elasticity of the muscles. You know what I mean? So I don't want to go to a yin class and push myself really hard and get into these deep poses and then try to be explosive under the bar, you know, because that's kind of counterindicative for us. So I stay away from that. But as a whole, like, my coach is extremely supportive. Shout out Josh Kirkpatrick. And you know, and he's an awesome coach, and he helps kind of guide me, and he's a huge proponent of doing yoga in season and out of season, and you know, making sure that I stay limber, and I notice a huge difference. Like even being in Warrior 1, Warrior 2, Warrior 3, like I don't check my balance. Like I'm rock solid just because I'm strong, you know? Yeah. So yeah, they work together. But I would say, you know, we can get into the timing of all that later on. Well,
there's a whole so much structure to it that I'm sure you do. But how'd you get into it in the first place, powerlifting?
So I actually started Olympic lifting first. So I started. So
that's like clean
and jerk and snatch. Yep. Yeah. So I started there, and I worked with a coach over at another local gym, and did that for about a year. This was like peak pandemic, like 2021, and started doing that 2-3 days a week, and kind of progressed my snatch to like, I don't know, I was doing like 125, which is a decent amount, and I was like constantly injured, banged up all the time. My training regimen wasn't working for me. I with the 2 days a week, I was pushing too hard during those sessions. So I was like kind of mangled, you know, from that training. And shoulders and hips, like everything was just so messed up. And I do still really like the clean and jerk. I think that's such a fun lift to do. I don't do it much, but I really didn't like the snatch. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm done with this progression. Like I don't want to really injure myself. And in terms of like competing in that, it's very limited. You know, even in Albany, there isn't much for options in Olympic lifting. There's like one federation that works, and everyone's extremely advanced. You know what I mean?
So CrossFitters.
Yeah, if I had started that, you know, as a kid, sure, you know, I'm sure I'd be great. But I started that, you know, 30, so I kind of felt like,
well, it really is hell on the joints.
Oh, it's so demanding.
I did CrossFit for a year, I think, when I moved out to Arizona. And my shoulder got just destroyed, and I couldn't do it anymore.
And knees, just the snatch is extremely demanding. And, you know, for those of you who don't know what that is, that's taking a barbell from the ground to overhead in one movement, which is very hard. And I drilled technique for months.
That's what it is. It's all technique.
It's just technique and efficiency and loading and timing and practice. So I decided that I kind of was over that. And at the same time, the coach of the class was kind of like, I want to start doing powerlifting. You know, I want to start broadening our horizons a bit. A lot of people were struggling with Olympic lifting. You know, I was one of the more advanced lifters, and people were like, this is hard. You know, so he was like, I'm going to start doing powerlifting. And he was awesome. I loved him. I'll never forget like where I came from with Coach Gordy and where I progressed to. But he has a very old school training style, you know, 80s, 90s kind of
just progressive
old school
overload?
Progressive overload. And that's great. That works. It really does. I got really strong. So that's kind of how I got my foot in the door. That would be 2022-ish. So I guess I'm 3-4 years now in. And it's been a journey. It's something I really look forward to doing for the next, for a long time.
So if Olympic lifting is clean, snatch, and jerk, what is powerlifting?
Okay, powerlifting is what we call the big three. So squat, bench, and deadlift.
Yep.
So these are all barbell-based movements. And in powerlifting, your goal is to hit your highest single rep max and if you compete in competition. So you're working up to the highest single rep that you can complete with each of those lifts.
Yeah.
In a competition setting, you get 3 attempts at each lift. So it's 9 total repetitions for a meet. So
how taxing is that? Is that hard?
Yeah.
Is it hard? That seems like a stupid question.
No, it's a great question. I get this all the time, and I'm so happy I get to kind of talk about it. So yes, it's extremely hard.
Yeah.
To maximize your kind of output and, bring your technique together and make sure everything hits at the right time and the right day is quite a challenge. That's why I have a coach. And, people are often blown away by that. They're like, you have a coach? And I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
Coaches have coaches.
Yes.
That my coach has a coach and his coach has a coach.
Oh my God, it takes a village.
And it really does. I have 2 physical therapists, a massage therapist, to keep me moving fluidly. So, it is hard. And it is so, I'm finding out as I go through competitively now that it's, I've done 4 meets now in my life, and it's very mental. It's very mental. It's very physical, but it's just as much mindset as it is physicality. So, one of the things that is a real kind of messes with your mind is that you train for a typical training block is 5 weeks for me. Mm-hmm. Some people it's 4. I do 5-week blocks. So it gives me a better recovery curve, I find. And I do 3 blocks minimum prior to a meet.
Yeah. So what does your training schedule look like? Is it like you do each lift once a week? You do bench, dead, squat?
Yeah, good question. It's nuanced. Right now I train 4 days a week. I do squat and deadlifts twice a week, and bench 4 days a week.
4 days. Wow.
Yeah. So it's a lot of bench press. Bench press is extremely technical, especially on the competitive side of things. There are commands that we have to abide by on the platform. It's not just, drop it, rip it and go, like you see in a gym. So it's very technical, and it's small incremental progress. Bench is this, usually the lightest lift for most people, and progress is the slowest
lift.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Everyone has a specialty. There's squat specialists and bench specialists and stuff, but bench takes the most stimulus to really grow. So I do 4 different modalities of bench press, so it's not the same. I do a regular competition bench press, which is my standard competition grip, and then I do a mid grip with more volume, and then I do a what's called a spotto press, which is a stop below the chest, pause, and then press. So you don't get to stop, you don't get to use your chest. And then I do Larson press, which is legs out. So no leg drive, and you stick your legs straight out.
All
upper body. Yeah. So with those 4 variations and lots of accessories, that's kind of how I've been training for the last several years.
I mean, I've found that, bench press is great. Like, I think the whole point of the barbell is to be able to load more weight, like just more weight. And that's great. But like for me and my shoulder and just hitting different muscles and stuff, I like it better with dumbbells. Or whatever, just often. Different variations of the same exercise, but it helps mold those muscles into something stronger.
For sure.
It's super cool. I'm so curious about that. Like I said, if you're in one lane, you're training for one thing. It's like, I'm just curious about what makes that thing so special, and like, why do you chase that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I like powerlifting too, because you have to be good at 3 different things. It's like in golf, for instance, right? Which is where I came from competitively. It's golf.
Both of those sports are you against you.
Correct.
There's no team.
Yeah,
it's just
I've always played solo sports. Skiing, ski racing is
and you're
individual.
Right. Like when you said like the pressure's on and everything, like when the lights are on you and you're up there on that stage or whatever, it's just you.
Yeah,
and it's all meant. It's a lot of mental stuff.
Yeah, because the way my coach programs things and the way I train and the mindset I go into the meet with is that I already know I'm going to do it. Yeah, and I see it before I do it.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily daydream about it, But I know, and he knows when he picks the weights that I'm going to do, which is primarily how it goes.
Yeah.
And we talk about it, but he guides me.
Yeah.
There's already a common understanding between us that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't go out there and you're pushing hard and you're pushing, as hard as you can, but you're not doing something outrageous or, know, that you can't do. You're not going to try to put 100 pounds on your deadlift on meet day. Yeah. It's not going to happen. So it's so much mindset, now that I'm a couple of years into really competing, I'm finding out that physically, yes, extremely demanding, but the mind is really the key.
So powerful.
So powerful. Yeah.
With golf, this past year, I saw a Tiger Woods video and he was like, visualize your shot first.
Yes. Yeah,
so
for sure. Oh yeah.
Look at the ball, see where you want it to go, feel what you need to do to make it happen, and then just go do it. Yeah. Visualize and execute.
The tracers in golf that have made it so popular to watch. And, growing up as a kid I watched competitive golf all the time, every weekend. And that wasn't a thing. The tracers weren't a thing. It was really hard to see where the ball was going and stuff. So I almost like to envision like a tracer, when I hit, before I hit a shot, like how I want it to fly.
Yeah. And then it goes left. And
yeah. And then you screw up. Yeah. Golf is so frustrating.
But it's cool that like the mindset thing, the mentality of like, okay, visualize what I'm going to do. I've already done it. It's already.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's
confident.
It's confidence, but it's not a cockiness, and you've heard that saying, confidence and cocky is a fine line. And it is. It's like, I always, the night before a meet is where I'm really like settling in mentally and kind of being like, okay, tomorrow's a big day. And one of the mantras I kind of live by is that the training is the journey and the meet is the expression, right? So you can't take away all the training and all the hard things I've done in that training in those 3 months leading up to that, where I've PR'd in my basement and I've worked with my coach on, calibrated equipment at
all
our
those
gym.
wins that nobody sees.
Right. The grind in the background, if you tend to post on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, it's usually like the highlights and stuff like that, but no one sees the grinds and the day-to-day and a lot of the workouts that are just stacking bricks, as I call them.
And so just piling food in your face.
Oh my God, the eating. Yeah, that's a whole podcast. But I like to look at it that way and look at the meets as like, okay, here's my chance to go out here and show the world what I've done. You know what I mean? Like here's what I've accomplished in the last 6 months between meets for my last meet. So but the eating, the eating is wild.
Yeah, what do you eat? What do you do? How many calories a day?
I'm not a macro tracker at all. No. I don't track anything.
Intuitive eater?
Intuitive eating, I do kind of like roughly ballpark my protein intake, and that's it. I don't track anything. I don't write anything down. I just kind of wing it. I could always probably be better at that, but I don't like to get into kind of that side of things. I've got enough on my plate with training. So I would say I average probably 4,000 calories a day.
Yeah. That's a lot of food.
Yeah, I'm weighing in around like 227. I've been kind of purposely bulking and putting on weights.
Yeah. All muscle, baby.
All muscle. That's right. Yeah. And there are weight classes in powerlifting, so you have to adhere to a specific weight. But the ranges are about 22 pounds. So as long as you're in that range, you're good. Unless you don't need to dive into the weeds, there are benefits of being high and low within your range. It's not really that important, but so, weighing in at the almost 230, takes a lot of energy, a lot of fuel. So, I have chickens at home. We have a little homestead at home, my wife and I. So I eat a lot of eggs, I start every day, eggs and toast, or eggs and vegetables and toast, or breakfast burrito.
6 eggs?
4 to 6. Depends on the day. Depends on the cycle where I'm at.
I was dating a girl that was like, that's too many eggs. I would eat 6 eggs.
It's not too many eggs. It depends on how much you're burning, but the whole cholesterol eggs nonsense. We don't need to go into that.
That's too many eggs. I'm like, what do you mean?
No, it's not.
I'm bulking, babe.
Eat your eggs, kids. So breakfast is that. So in a typical training day, I actually have a meal prior to eggs and toast. So I actually start out with, hilariously enough, Honey Nut Cheerios with fruit and coconut milk or milk.
And carbs.
Yep. And then I'll usually go into my training with that in my stomach, a banana, apple, things like that. And then after I finish training, usually in the AM, I have the eggs and toast and sausage, stuff like that.
Yes, like there's a whole science and a whole art around like eating with how you train. Right?
Oh, for sure.
So carbo loading before, so you feel full and energized, and then after your workout, you eat protein and get
carbs.
it back in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like powerlifting has dark sides to it too. You know, you see like people just hammering candy and hammering honey.
We were talking about Eddie Hall. The guy just sits there and eats like a bowl of ground beef, like a mixing bowl of ground beef and rice.
Pounds. I mean, for those of you who don't know who Eddie Hall is, look him up.
Big boy,
mind-blowingly strong. So probably one of the strongest humans to ever walk the earth.
He? Yeah, does he holds records?
He's one of the strongest human beings to ever live, besides like Hafthor Bjornsson, you know, from Iceland. So fascinating, but your body doesn't naturally want to keep that much muscle mass on. You know what I mean? Like it intuitively is like trying to keep you kind of homeostasis, you know? So in order to keep this much muscle, or, you know, I'm not as big as Eddie Hall, but like the muscle that those 300-400 pound guys keep on, they eat 10,000 calories a day. And
they also do steroids.
Yeah, a lot of them do. Yeah. And you know, that fuels their hunger even more, you know? So a lot of calories in, and there comes a time where it just becomes, you know, fuel in. Like sometimes I don't necessarily, you know, like
enjoy what you're eating.
That, and sometimes it's like, yo, I'm gonna have cookie, brownie, donut, ice cream. You know, like I'm gonna eat carbohydrates and I'm gonna put them down. And
it's a fuel tank.
It's a fuel tank, yeah, because you know, like as much as powerlifting isn't cardiovascular necessarily, like the glucose that your brain needs to kind of process and run your central nervous system is needs that demand, you know. So under fueling and trying to compete at the highest level, and at least compete it doesn't work. You know, it's a big negative.
What kind of supplements do you take? Like creatine and stuff?
Yeah, I take creatine. Been on creatine for a couple of years. Just your regular, you know, whey protein powder as a supplement. I'm big on taking magnesium daily and ensuring sleep and muscle recovery. Zinc, which is big in men's health too as well. So I take zinc, magnesium, a multivitamin, and also fiber. You know, I struggle with getting enough fiber in. I'm probably eating upwards of 200 grams of protein daily.
Well, if you're eating 4,000 calories, fiber comes from vegetables, which don't have a lot of calories.
Correct.
So what are you going to do? You know?
It's hard. So I was really struggling. You know, I was just like, oh man, I'm like, my stomach hurts. I'm just like kind of battling, you know, intestinal stress a bit for a while. And then I was like, I think I'm lacking fiber, you know? So I started taking like a psyllium husk, a fiber supplement, and that helped tremendously. Like I still eat a ton of vegetables, but that was like the kind of the catch-all that really helped me start feeling better. So, you know, supplements are unique. Everyone responds differently.
Sure.
You know, electrolytes too in there as well. A lot of sodium, you know, Himalayan sea salt is like the GOAT. I put that on everything. You know, and just making sure that I keep balance. And then I do, you know, routine blood work every year to make sure everything's looking good. And for those egg deniers out there, I had 165 cholesterol. I eat all those eggs. So, you know, just making sure everything is good and keeping it streamlined. But when I get it changes, like you said, as I get closer to a meet, I really start to eat to the point where it becomes uncomfortable. Like it's a slog. I set a timer for 3 hours and I eat every 3 hours.
It's really just about feeling good, though, right? You want to feel strong when you get up there, and that's what it's all about.
For sure, it's a dance too. Like you can't if you think about it this way, right? Like if I go and eat that egg breakfast before trying to squat and put a weightlifting belt on, right? You can see how that can go poorly if I eat too much, and then I put this belt on and jack it down around my stomach. So I've overeaten and trained, and it's kind of miserable. It's a dance of getting enough carbs and fuel, but not eating too much. You know, so sometimes I resort to gels.
Gels,
Gels are way less volume than carbs.
It's funny because I used to weightlift. I don't too much anymore because I injured my back and I can't squat really. I can't deadlift. I can still bench, but anyways, when I was lifting, it's so weird. Some of the best lifts I ever had were like when I drank a 6-pack of beer and had a whole pizza the night before.
Interesting.
And then I go in the gym and I'm like, I feel fucking great.
Hey man, why not teach their own, I guess.
I don't know what it is, but maybe it's the carb loading or whatever. I don't know. But
I mean,
it's just so weird. It is a dance
carbs.
where you're like trying to figure it out, but sometimes it's just random.
Yeah, optimizing sleep too. I mean, everyone knows how important that is, and this is something I've been dying to talk about. So I actually have sleep apnea. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. Well, you put more muscle mass on, and that happens.
Yeah. Men are definitely more prone to it, but I do know women with sleep apnea, believe it or not, and. Neck size is one of the key contributors. So the larger the neck, the more common sleep apnea is for you. So that's actually something I was diagnosed with in 2016.
When you're lifting, you got that big ass traps.
Big ass trap in the neck. Yeah. So getting diagnosed with sleep apnea and finding a way to incorporate the CPAP therapy, the nighttime wearing of that into my life literally changed my whole life. So that happened at the same time. I guess it was 2017 I got diagnosed, but I got a CPAP and started wearing it, and I haven't missed a night in like almost 2 years. I'm very, very, very regimented. And
get your 8 hours.
I immediately lost weight getting on the CPAP.
Yeah.
I was somewhere in like the 250 region coming out of college, and then I started wearing the CPAP. I dropped to 230, and I wasn't really caring about weight, but I was like, wow, I feel better.
Yeah, much.
And I stopped having like night terrors and like all those things that come with it, and started feeling better, and stopped like falling asleep in the movie theaters, those kind of things.
Recovery. I think people underestimate recovery.
Yeah.
Right? So
my God.
You go to see Pat at Ecotone.
Yep.
Right.
CPAP at Ecotone.
I've had him on here. He's a great
incredible.
guy.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about yoga, you see Sarah, she's amazing as well.
Yep.
But like, you're doing these things that are like linear movements, right? And they're very taxing on your body. So what are you doing for the other, 23 hours? Recovery is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
If you're going to be an athlete, like you have to recover properly.
Definitely. Yeah.
And so there's not enough emphasis on it, I feel.
No, there isn't. Yeah. I think a lot of people, one way or the other, right? They don't train hard enough, long enough to like get the benefits and see the results, or the opposite. I know a lot of people who are chronic overtrainers, right?
Yep.
And they get, I don't want to say an addiction to that, but they get into this mindset where they're like, it's not enough. I must go, run, train, So
couldn't be me.
Not
these days.
No,
I think I used to.
Yeah, younger. I see it in some of my younger clients.
I still do 2 days. Sometimes.
Yeah, 2 days are great. But you have to respect that.
Yeah.
One of my big things, another mantra, I guess, if you will, is stress, regardless of its fitness or life or, all the other BS that we deal with on a regular basis. Like all that compounds on you, and your brain can't disseminate the difference. So, if you have a super stressful day, I can almost guarantee that your lifting will be impacted by that. You know what I mean by that training. So, making sure that you're recovering. The other 23 hours, I train for about 2 hours a session. So, 22 hours, right? 8 hours of CPAP therapy a night for me. I also use mouth tape.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, mouth tape. I started mouth taping, because my mouth opens and the forced air combination dries me out so bad.
I'm sure,
it's bad. So I use a night guard as well for teeth grinding. I kind of have an insane
you got a whole setup.
Oh, it's wild. Yeah, your body adapts to it. But so a night guard in, it's like a retainer. Then I tape my mouth shut, and then I put the mask on.
Wow.
So I force my body to nose breathe.
Yeah.
So 8 hours of sleep at minimum there with the CPAP on. And then as soon as I finish training, I eat right away, drink protein shake, eat right away. And then from there, I try to, reduce and eliminate stress as much as I can. I use
as much as you can, right?
Things like therapy. I have a therapist, talk with a therapist. I use cold plunges, occasionally to calm my mind. I meditate there. Saunas. Myofascial release, foam rolling, yoga, mobility, stretching, physical therapy, massage therapy, kind of all those things.
All of it.
Yeah, I throw it all at it. When I get into what I call peak season, which I'm kind of in now.
Well, that's the thing I'm talking about. Recovery is so important. You have to do all those things.
You have to, and if you properly train and push yourself and compete, like you need it.
You need it.
You feel like shit at the end.
So what do you do if you show up to work out? You're getting ready to do your lift.
Yep.
and you're just not feeling that great that day.
Yeah.
What do? You just kind of do what you can, or what?
Yeah, that's a great question. It generally I feel really good. I'm super motivated and I love to lift. But
that's great.
My God, have I had days where it's like, you peel yourself up off the couch and I just put one foot in front of the other, bro, and put my clothes on and I go in there. I have a really great stereo setup in the gym and I'm a huge music guy. So I put on the tunes I need to get it done. And honestly, there's been days where the brain isn't there and the body knows what to do. And there's been days where the body is there and the brain isn't, I don't know if you've heard this. This is something I use and preach to my clients and to myself, but the rule of threes, right, with working out. So I don't know who said this or who came up with this, but you can think of it in thirds. So 33% of your workouts are great. 33% of them are, meh. Okay.
Yeah.
33% of them are shit.
Yeah.
And I kind of live with that mindset. You're going to have those kind of highs and lows through your training.
Did you learn that through golf?
I don't know where
Is that the same principle?
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know where I heard that. It's just something I've heard before.
Well, it makes perfect sense.
I'm going to have to look that up and see who talks about the rule of threes. But, just making sure that this is something, again, shout out my coach, Josh, like, the mindset behind what I do on the competition platform is taking the highs and the lows as they come. You're going to hit days where you PR and feel great. And then the next training session, you might feel like junk and you can't get down on yourself. You just got to roll with the punches. And if you can keep kind of this moderate kind of floating pace in the middle there and, celebrate your wins.
Yeah.
But if you kind of ride this roller coaster throughout your career in fitness and in competing, whatever you do, you won't last. You know what I mean? So kind of setting that tone, that middle tone, is kind of where I like to be. So if I haven't had a day that rough lately, thank goodness, and that's good. But as I get towards the peak of the training, like there's doubt. The self-doubt comes in, and especially in the squat, right? So I typically train alone. And
that's your toughest one?
It is mentally, just because of, for me, like where the bar is on your back. It's driving you down, right? And and it has no remorse, like the weight.
A deadlift you can drop, like
a bench you can, bench is scary too, but you can, if you have safeties on, like you just drop to the safeties and you crawl out and you fail. Yeah. Deadlift, you don't pick it up. But squat, there's something about squat where
you're under that bar.
You have a 7-foot piece of steel on your back, and something I like to say is weight, right? It doesn't care. You're having
iron don't lie.
Exactly. Yeah. So the amount of stuff I've learned, strength training, the amount of time I've spent underneath a bar and on top of a bar, really, really sharpens the mind and teaches you, kind of calluses you almost. Like it teaches you to kind of...
Well, it's such a great metaphor for life too. Like all the things you were just saying is like, sometimes it's not going to be there, but you ride that middle ground. And,
and just do it.
Life is up and down all the time. And
that's the biggest question I get. How do you stay intrinsically motivated to keep going? How do you keep showing up when you feel like shit? And that comes from within. You know what I mean?
Discipline over motivation.
Yeah, motivation. Yeah. Motivation is fleeting. You know what I mean? So finding that internal motivation and for whatever it is you're out there doing, I hope you love it enough to want to keep doing it. You know what I mean? That's really the thing. And that's kind of tie back to golf, right? I told you this, like I burned out of golf. To be perfectly honest, like I don't even know if I'll compete at that level again. Maybe one day.
That's what's so nice about it is that you don't have to compete. Yeah, you just can go out and play with your friends, and it's fun.
Done it. I've competed so much.
Drives his one iron. He uses a 1 iron. First of all, and it's like 50 yards further than my driver.
Yeah, it's pretty silly. Yeah, and
fucking guy.
And training has actually redefined my golf game. Like
I
have more mass. I don't have the mobility I used to do, but like if I got back into it and like really honed in on like the mobility side and the rotational side of things, like I can annihilate a golf ball. You know what I mean? But like the consistency isn't there because you have to play a lot. So for me, the breaking point was last September. I played in a tournament right down the road at McGregor Links and forced it, signed up, forgot I signed up. a week out, I get an email like, here's your tee time. And I was like, oh man, I signed up for this tournament 6 months ago and I forgot. And I was like, whatever, I'll just go play and have fun. Well, I had a really bad day. And to the point where I was like this close to leaving the course. And, for me, I think I shot 96. And that's
that's good for most people.
That is. And that was an extreme blow up for me. And I remember just like packing up my clubs, throwing them in the truck and driving home and just like crying and being like, I think I'm done. Yeah. I think I'm done for a while with competing because I just
it takes that much of a toll on you.
Yeah, I just felt like I shouldn't be there. I felt like, it just wasn't worth it to me. I was like, why am I paying this money to do this and force this? And something I need to mention is I also like compete in volleyball too. Nothing crazy, but I play.
Seems like you're a very competitive person.
Yeah, I guess
you have that drive.
Yeah. I play volleyball. I compete in tournaments and stuff like that. So to try to juggle all of that wasn't working. I found myself kind of burning out, and my lifting suffered too. Early in the spring of this year, after I competed in April, my drive was low, and I was just kind of like, "What am I doing? I'm spinning my wheels a bit." So setting up a goal, setting up a meet to train for, and signing up for that was all the motivation I needed.
Oh, it's huge.
All I needed.
I did a half marathon with Reba and Maddie and Courtney and Emma and Ben were there too, all members of Battleground.
Yep.
And that was like the thing that I needed. I just needed
something to drive towards.
I'm sitting there like, I don't have anything to do. Like I don't have any goals.
Yeah.
I competed in jiu-jitsu a little bit.
Sure.
And we can get into that. I mean, all the stuff you're talking about with competition, like I felt that in jiu-jitsu. It's very much the same thing. Any sort of competitive endeavor.
Yeah.
You feel these charges and it's great.
Sure.
But I'm the person, I need something to train for.
Of course.
I need something to look forward to.
Push towards a goal.
Yeah. And no matter what it is. But with golf though, I don't.
Great.
I'm just like,
keep it that way.
I don't care. I just want to go play.
The more of that mindset you can have, the better you'll be in the sport long term.
Yeah, because it's not worth getting I'm going to pay $80 to go get mad at myself.
Just burn the money. Stay home. Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
to me.
Yeah, and like shout out to PGA Tour players that make this their career. Like,
oh my God,
the unbelievable resiliency and dedication it takes.
Well, they have that mindset that you do, where
they have that mindset.
I shoot 96, I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
I'd be thrilled.
I know, and it's just all perspective.
Yeah.
Coming from shooting in the 70s on a regular basis, 96 is really bad. Yeah, 96 is real bad.
What's the par over at McGregor?
72, I think, or 71. Yeah. So I had an abysmal day. I had a 10 and a 9 in there.
Oh,
in a competition.
Yeah,
it was bad. Yeah, so putt. Yeah, bro, out of bounds a couple times. Tough course, tight course. So just and what's funny is I started the round with a birdie on the first hole. So
that's a tough course, McGregor.
Mindset going into it was like, I birdied the first hole. Let's go. And then you let your guard down for 1 second in that sport, and you toast.
Yeah.
Same thing in lifting. Too.
Same thing. Well, like the visualization thing is super cool because like whether you're going into a lift or you're going into a new situation or you're going to whatever it is, you like just visualize it. You're like, okay, here we go. Fluid, nice. Let the guard down, deep breath, and then you fucking nail it.
Yeah. And I started teaching golf this year. I started teaching lessons. I picked up 4 or 5 clients, and I got so much more joy out of teaching golf than playing golf. I just kind of found myself being like, I kind of just want to do this for a while. And there is one tournament that I play with my mom every year. It's like a mixed doubles team, and it sounds crazy, but it's the New York State Mixed Team Championship. So it's a big tournament, but the pressure's low and the groupings are really fun. And it's competitive. The first year my mom and I played in it 2 years ago, we actually won. We won the net division with our handicaps. That was wild. That was cool.
What do you win? Just money?
No, just like a cool trophy, little glass trophy, bragging rights and stuff. Yeah. But it was so fun. And then we've gone back 3 years now and had a good time. And like every year we do a little worse. And that's just the way it is. That first year was just kind of really good year for us. But, I still kind of keep that on the docket. That time with mom and I is so valuable. And
That's what I mean. Golf, for me, it's like I just enjoy spending time with my son,
Yeah,
my friends,
getting out on the
just
course.
being out
Yeah,
there and
yeah,
just
yeah.
having a good time.
It's tough for me, I I got out a handful of times this year, which is not much, and when I play with other people, I still have that competitive edge where I expect myself to hit the shots that I used to.
Yeah.
And without the practice, it's not as consistent. Like I can still pull off, great shots, but the consistency isn't there. So I get frustrated.
Sure.
So it's coming from a place of being really good and then being like, okay, it's that's the toughest part for me.
Well, that's a metaphor for life. Like it's not, you can't expect, especially as you get older, you can't expect to, be who you once were.
Right.
And what I say is like, give 100% of whatever you have today.
Exactly.
So like I was asking you, you show up to a lift and you're not really feeling it. Okay. Just give whatever you have that day and put something in.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to, it's not going to be as good as yesterday or last week or whatever.
Correct.
But you just keep going.
Yeah. And we, my coach and I and all the athletes under our umbrella that we compete under train with RPE, rate of perceived exertion.
Yeah.
So that's going to vary greatly from day to day.
That's cool too. Cause like, I think a misconception of people with fitness is like, you have to go as hard as you can every training session.
Never.
That's not what you want to do. Okay. Like RPEs are a great way to break it down and let's say give 60, 70% for your training session today.
Yeah.
So that, you can recover and that you're still making gains, but you can recover a little bit easier and you'll be better the next day. Yeah. And people don't understand that. It's like they have to go hard all the time.
I gotta go full gas all the time.
Yeah.
I know quite
well, that's that competitive drive too,
It is, yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, oh my God. And I mean, there's days where you feel great and you can give that and do it at that time, because you never know what's going to happen. You get a cold and then you're going downhill. Yeah. So show like the bare bones is showing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it's consistency is the most important thing.
Yeah.
I don't care if you gave like 50%, but you consistently gave 50%. That number will increase over time. Dude. So that's how I train mindset and consistency.
Yeah, I mean, lately, like I don't have a goal necessarily.
Sure.
The last thing I had the goal for, like I said before, was the marathon, and I don't have one right now.
Sure.
So I'm just kind of like navigating and moving, based on intuition and awareness.
That's great.
I don't have, and so. While I would rather have a goal, right now I don't. So sometimes I'll show up to, I'll come to your classes when you're coaching. I'll be like, I'm just here to move. I'm just here to
love that.
Like push some weight a little bit. Maybe I'll skip this thing. Maybe I'll do whatever. I just want to do what feels good. But you still show up. Yeah. No matter what it is. If you're going to go for a walk, or you're going to go lift weights or do some yoga or whatever it is, like,
sure.
As long as you stay doing something.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep moving. Yeah. Movement is medicine. Yeah. So like,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, it constantly when I teach privates, right? Like people come in and they're like, "Oh, I had a bad night of sleep last night. I don't feel that good." And it's like, "Okay, I'll meet you where you're at, and let's move our bodies." You know, and like that's the mindset I always have.
That's the art of coaching.
It is, yeah, and it's just like adapting to what they give you. And if they come in and they're like, "I feel amazing," then great, let's see what you got today.
Yeah, let's go.
And then if you don't, the next session, like let's back off and meet me in the middle. So. Fitness is not 100% gas pedal all the time, and if anyone tells you that, run away from them.
Yeah. And I think we mentioned this way earlier, but there's different modalities. Like so many clients have different goals.
Oh, of course.
Right? Like powerlifting is a thing that you can do, but there's also, I think the majority of the people, let's say at Battleground.
Yeah.
The majority of the people just want to come in and move and lift some weights, get a little
fitness.
stronger, feel good, whatever. They're not trying to be competitive athletes and like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just here to facilitate that.
Exactly. Yeah. We're here to help you be a better mover, more consistent mover. Obviously getting stronger is great. Yeah. I mean, you and I both know this, that, someone comes in and they're like, I want to get stronger. And that's so ambiguous. It's not enough to work with. So it's like, I do like to push my clients and the people I train towards something, towards a goal, something that's achievable or reasonable, right?
A smart goal.
A smart goal. Yeah. So how do you set that goal for yourself and what is it? I don't care if it's, I want to walk a mile in 15 minutes. Okay, great. Now we have something to work towards. I just had someone say, I want to run next year's turkey trot without stopping. Okay, great.
There you go.
Now we have a foundation to move forward.
Yep.
Right. I want to get toned. Isn't a goal.
No,
right?
Toned is not a thing.
Yeah, I didn't even want to bring that up.
This is one of those. That's one of those words in fitness. Ladies are like, primarily ladies.
Yeah.
Sorry, ladies, but it's mostly you that are like, I want to be toned. Okay, so what is that?
Yeah.
You basically want to lose body fat and build muscle.
Sure, we all do.
But not too much muscle because I don't want to look bulky.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? You're not going to look bulky.
Yeah, we went off the rails.
You know how freaking hard it is to
hard.
like look bulky? Like I want to look bulky.
Yeah.
We want to be big jack dudes, but it's hard.
It's hard.
It takes a lot of work. So don't worry about all that.
Yeah. It'll come. And that goes back to the consistency mindset thing, right? Like circling back, making sure that you show up and check all the boxes and do the best you can. I wish I could like throw a graphic up there. I have this great graphic online where it shows like what people think working out is. It's all full circles.
Yeah.
And then underneath it shows what showing up is actually like. It's half, 25%, 40%, 50%, 80%, 20%, so that's kind of the mindset we are trying to hammer across is being consistent and setting some sort of a specific goal. Those are key.
It's a lifestyle. It's not.
Lifestyle.
There's no quick fix.
It's a lifestyle. Yeah.
And having a goal is great. I think it's very, very important.
For sure.
Right now, I don't have one. I need to find one.
That's okay. But this is a great time of year to reflect and like take time.
I'm in my yin season.
Yeah.
I'm like,
hell yeah. Yeah. As you should be.
Like,
yeah.
We don't need to get into that. But shit. I got a question that I asked everybody.
Okay.
It's a last meal question.
Ooh, last meal question.
What would your last meal be if you were on death row?
Okay, I already know.
And you could have as much as you want, as little as you like. Okay. You could have all the things.
So it doesn't matter how much.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. Easy. My favorite go-to meal and would be my last meal would be steak. And I don't even care what kind of steak. I guess I like ribeye a lot. Mashed potatoes, broccoli, chocolate cake.
Damn, dude, that's solid.
Right there.
That's solid.
That is and I may have eaten that last week, but that is like that's like my go-to meal.
That's my birthday dinner. Actually, William and I.
Chocolate cake, steak, mashed potatoes. Yeah.
William's birthday, Christmas, my birthday, whatever. We have steak, mashed potatoes, and broccoli.
That is like one of my favorite meals. Dude, I don't know what it is about that combination of those three, but like, yeah. And you asked me like what I eat, and like that's a kind of a representative dinner. I don't eat steak every day, but like, steak, a carb, a protein, and a vegetable, a salad sometimes. Yeah. A lot of fruit, those are easy, simple carbs, stuff like that. So yeah, that'd be my last meal. Easy. I didn't have to think about that one.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And in infinite quantities, mostly cake.
Yeah. A whole chocolate cake.
Not just chocolate cake. Yeah, let me rephrase. A whole chocolate cake.
What are you doing next? Like are you training for, you have another meet coming up?
I do, yeah. So I just competed 2 weeks ago. And I guess I can talk about that.
Yeah, you did well.
So I had a fantastic meet.
Yeah.
I hit an all-time lifetime PR on the deadlift of 501.
Let's go.
Which was huge. That was something I've been working towards kind of since that college era. I've always wanted to deadlift 500.
Feels good.
Yeah, dude, it does. And I just got the photographs from the professional photographer a little
Blood
bit.
dripping from your nose.
I didn't get a nosebleed, but I have seen people get nosebleeds. So hitting the 500-pound deadlift was a huge benchmark for me.
Congratulations,
thank you. Yeah. So, all things considered, the meet went perfect and I had a great meet. And looking forward, I took a week off and now I signed up for New York State Championships in March.
Nice.
So that is one of the biggest powerlifting meets New York State's ever seen. And it's also going to be like a fitness expo and a convention and weightlifting bodybuilding, CrossFit, strongman. It's all going to happen in Albany in March. So that is something I officially signed up for. I'm on the roster and I started training last week. So I've got about 3 5-week blocks to get ready and prep and continue my technical work. And the last month or so is more just focusing on loading, emphasis on, heavier loads, lower volume, more intensity. And then the technique kind of is solidified by that point. So
you've been doing it for so long. Your technique is there, right?
Technique is there. Yeah. There's still little things here and there, and I think I'm just at a point now where I'm refined the technique of all 3 lifts to where I don't really need to, my coach isn't like daily, like, yo, your technique is trash. Let's fix this.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
You pretty much got it.
But again, it goes back to up here and intuitive loading, making sure that you are choosing loads that are hard enough to challenge you, but not so hard that you fail. But it's tough. And that's the hardest part, is loading and trusting your RPE.
So what were your last 3 and what are your goals?
Last 3 top numbers?
Yeah. So what are your goals?
Okay, so 396 was my squat, 265 bench press, and then the 501 deadlift was like 1165.
501, that's awesome.
501. Yeah, everything's in kilograms, so it translates to weird pounds. But
okay, so what is the next?
So that's a 1165 total, give or take. So I have
in the club.
I'm in the 1,000-pound club. Been there, love it. Broke the 500 kilo total in competition, which is was a kind of a goal for me. So yeah, looking forward to March. I haven't really given it like too much thought yet, but I guess I want to try to, deadlift is really cruising right now for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't, if you ever see the video of it, everyone's like, you made that look easy. And I assure you it's not. But I think there's still 20, 30 pounds in the deadlift by the next meet, maybe more.
All right.
Bench, I did not express my full potential there. So 10, 12 pounds there maybe. And then, squat, I'd be really happy with like a 20, 30 pound increase in squat as well. Those are big numbers, guys. Those are big progressions. But
you got what, 6 months? So?
Just under 4.
4 months.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I added about 40 kilos or like 88 pounds from April to this meet. So that was about 6 months.
Yeah.
So keeping that in mind, I'd be happy with gains across the board.
It's a slow progression. It is not fast.
You're not gonna. Yeah. And I'm still in that. I've been lifting for years, but I still am kind of experiencing what I would call like newbie gains almost.
Yeah.
Like where lifts move really quickly, and then you will hit a plateau. But if you look at someone like more seasoned, like my coach, for instance, or some of my teammates, they might train for 4 months and add 5 pounds to the total. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like sometimes it's not there. You might have a bad meet. Yeah. So I'm always happy with whatever progress I make. And another mantra, right? You can tell them big on mantras, make attempts, build your total. That's what we're all about when we at Hudson Valley Powerlifting. So, show up, make attempts, build your total, and just keep that going. It's a decade-long progression to get to where you peak.
It's a lifetime.
It's a lifetime. Yeah. Yeah. So it takes a long time to express strength. So that's the journey, man.
Cool. Well, looking forward to it, and all your success and all the things you're working hard for. It's fun to watch.
Thank you.
You have my support. If there's anything I can do for you, you let me know.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that.
It's a pleasure to work alongside you at Battleground, and just happy to call you a friend.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Thanks for coming on the podcast and talking. If anybody wants to get a hold of you for training or for whatever, where can they reach you?
Yeah, Instagram's probably the quickest way. Rhodes _2_fit, Rhodes to fit. Find me on there. Reach out to me via Instagram. My email, I can also maybe plug in the YouTube video, whatever. But Instagram is the quickest way to get in touch with me. Or if you're local, swing by Battleground and ask for me, and I'm sure that we can get you in touch with me real easily.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah. Man. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate you. Love you.
Yeah, love you too, man.
Check him out. He's a real good guy.
Appreciate it.
As you know by now. Anyways, stay healthy, my friends.
Later,
Peace.
guys.